guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I am a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, elementary, middle, and high school age. Today I'm going to be going through all of the Advent resources that we're going to be using this year. So let's get started. If you're not subscribed, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified of all of my future videos. And if you're looking for more help and encouragement around home and homeschool and goals, I would love for you to come check out my membership community. I will leave a link for that in the description box below. So yes, it's a little bit early, but I feel like now is definitely the time to be talking about Advent resources, especially if you want to get stuff for Advent. Advent actually starts December 3rd, but most of the resources that we use, we start using on December 1st. That's just how we do it in our home. So I'm going to share the resources that we are using this year. A lot of them are repeats. We started doing like an Advent devotional with my kids many years ago with the Advent candles and lighting the candles, and it has been a really fun tradition for us, and it is something that kind of centers us and leads us into the dark winter months where we are having a lot more hygge type, cozy type days and evenings. You know, it gives us a chance to sit around together without technology in the evenings and do a devotional and talk about our days. And then as we go through the winter months, we do a lot of puzzles and games and such. So it's a really nice way for us to kind of go through December as we're getting ready for the holidays and just enjoy one another. So some of these resources we have used for many years. Some are new, like our Advent calendars, but I'm going to start with some of the books that we use. The first book that I have is actually, I think this book came out maybe in 2008 and I got it in 2009. And it is called A Greener Christmas, and this has so many different projects and recipes and ideas in here around the holidays. There is a cranberry sauce recipe that I make every year for Thanksgiving in here. There's ornament ideas, handcraft ideas, ideas for gifts, and lots of delicious recipes. So I have always used this around the holidays, and it is one of my favorite books, and it stays with my cookbooks all year round because there are some things in here that I like to have all year round. I believe there's a newer version of this. It's a different cover when I looked it up online, but I will leave a link for this in the description box. It has just all kinds of different fun things to do. A lot of them are nature-based. They're very green friendly. So definitely a lot of fun to go through, and some of the recipes in here are just amazing. So this is the first resource, and this is the oldest resource that I have that we are using. I love this book and definitely recommend it for everybody, whether or not you celebrate Advent. This is just a really good book. When we started doing Advent with the kids, we followed the Jesus Storybook Bible reading plan. We still do this every year. When we started this, Emma and Jack were very little, but now we also have Lucy, and she really enjoys the stories. She's just 9, so still very good for her. But as my kids got a little bit older, back in 2020, we ended up getting another book that we use that I couldn't find, and I actually couldn't find 2 books, and I think it's because I packed them in our Christmas stuff and they're still packed away because we haven't taken our Christmas stuff out yet. But we will soon. And that is a book called Unwrapping the Names of Jesus. And I really like this book. It has very short little devotionals, a little bit of scripture to read. So we do this in addition to reading whatever story is going on in the Jesus Storybook Bible as part of our evening Advent tradition where we light our candles and such. It's a very small book, but I love it and I definitely recommend it. The next book that I have is one that I actually got last year, and that is Jesus Has Come, a family devotional on God's promises fulfilled. This is from the Daily Grace Co. It is not meant to be used year after year, I don't think, because there are like little things in here to do. We did not do all of the extra things in here, but we started using this last year. We did not finish it because my kids were sick, and so we were struggling to get through any Advent stuff last year, unfortunately, but we are going to start this book again this year. We just keep adding new resources, and so it ends up being a longer time in the evening that we are spending time together as a family, just sharing about Advent and about just having some family time together, and we really enjoy it. And my kids are very patient and able to sit and do this. Now, if you just have little kids, I would recommend only working out of this book. And if you have a lot of older kids, then you definitely could just do the Unwrapping the Names of Jesus and have some great discussion through those readings. The other book that is similar to A Greener Christmas is a book called Holidays by Wild and Free. They have several different books with crafts and such. The handcrafts book, I don't know if you can see the handcrafts book right there that we also have. I really love these Wild and Free books. They have lots of great ideas. A lot of them are very nature-based ideas, not expensive projects to do, but just something to add a little bit of fun into your days. And I really like that because we do take Thanksgiving to New Year's off. I'll leave a link in the description box if you're interested in why we do that or how we manage that in our home, even with high schoolers, which I know is kind of weird, but we really love that. But I like to fill our time with other fun things, and that holiday book, I think it came out maybe 2 or 3 years ago, is really, really good. It has a lot of fun ideas that all of my kids enjoy. So that is the other book. Now I'm going to move into the Advent calendars that we're going to use, as well as the Advent candles it's like a project that we do every year. I will share that as well. Now, before I start talking about the Advent calendars, we do a lot of Advent calendars. Everybody has an Advent calendar. We have a family one. We have a couple of family ones. I did not always purchase Advent calendars for my kids. It is a lot. And I do buy them relatively early, usually September or October. I will look for Advent calendars and kind of buy a little bit here and there. But when Emma and Jack were really, really little, up until I think maybe Lucy was about 2, we used to do something that I would call Advent bags. And this is something that I created when Emma was very, very little. My 2 older kids used to be crazy early risers. I mean, they were up and ready for the day at 5 a.m. And that was a struggle for me. And going into the holidays, it was definitely hard. So what I ended up coming up with is that during the month of November, I would give my kids each a brown little lunch bag, one of those brown paper lunch bags. I would put out markers and stickers and let them go to town and decorate a bag each morning. So each morning they would come down, they would see their supplies on their little Crayola table that they could sit down at and decorate a bag. And that gave me 10 to 15 minutes of time where I could wake up and have a cup of coffee before I had to get going on the day. Now, I know a lot of people will say, why don't you just put your kids back to bed? I was never able to accomplish that feat. And after a while, I came up with new strategies and systems that worked, that weren't me trying to put my kids back to bed for 2 hours and then just being exhausted and angry. So that is what it is. But these Advent bags, during the month of November, they would each have a bag that they could decorate for the 24 days of Advent leading up to Christmas. And then in December, I would fill those bags each day with a little treat and a little activity. And the activities, when I started doing it, I would make homemade Play-Doh. I would have like popsicle sticks to make a little something. We would do cotton ball snowmen, little activities that, again, they could do first thing in the morning that didn't take a lot of mom's help and would occupy them for a little bit of time. As they got older, I would add in things like a Matchbox car for Jack, or maybe like one of those little teeny tiny ponies that you can get, or I would use more of the dollar spot activity kits where you could do a few, like it would come with maybe 5 ornaments, so the kids could each do 2 ornaments over a couple of days rather than doing all 5 on one day. Those little kits that you can find at Michael's or AC Moore, I don't think there's AC Moore anymore, but Michael's or Target or Walmart, just little activities that don't take mom's help, that they can kind of do on their own. Other things, felt ornaments on a felt Christmas tree. Those types of things were all the things that I would put in these little advent bags. As my kids got older, I started to see, some of the Lego advent calendars. So then I started buying advent calendars. My older 2 kids actually asked me to do advent bags this year, and I really wanted to, but I ran out of time trying to figure out where I could source different items for big kids for an advent bag. And so I ended up purchasing advent calendars for them this year, and I'm crossing my fingers that they're not disappointed. I don't think they will be disappointed, but it is something that I'm going to consider much earlier in 2024 than what ended up happening. Emma got sick towards the end of her cross-country season. It threw off all kinds of things. So I'm going to share the advent calendars that I have, but I just want you to know that you don't have to purchase advent calendars. You can do something as easy as going and buying 25 brown paper bags, getting, some a bag of Hershey Kisses, and writing out a scripture verse or adding a couple of little things, homemade things that you can do like salt dough or homemade Play-Doh or some ingredients to make slime or something like that. Very easy and relatively inexpensive, and still give your kids something fun as they work through Advent. So the first Advent calendar that we have is one that we started getting a couple of years ago, and that is the KiwiCo Advent calendar. They came out with the first one, I think 2 years ago, and it was, I can't remember if it was Santa's Workshop or if it was a little train one. Anyways, we purchased the first one, and then we purchased one last year, and it is so much fun for my kids to sit down and work on these little KiwiCo projects, and it creates this whole scene that they get to set up on the bureau in our kitchen holds their homeschool bins during the school time, but when we're off in December for our long homeschool break, I take those bins down and I clean them out and set them up for the second semester so they stay in my office. So the kids will set up a whole scene from their KiwiCo Advent calendar, and it's a lot of fun, and we can save those, and each year we have saved them, and we have just a big box of stuff. Some of the little things have broken, some of the decorations have fallen apart, but we can still kind of put together this whole scene. And so this year I'm really excited with the box that they came out with. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this in the screen. It is the Winter Wonderland Advent Calendar, and it has some electronic things in it this year. So each day, oh gosh, there's a little envelope with some items to put together, and then my kids will take turns opening the little envelope, and then they put it together, and then they set it up together, and it's just a fun activity that they do each morning. And if we were only going to do one advent calendar, I would probably go with this because it's a lot of fun and the kids really enjoy it. Some days are a lot more involved than other days, and then there are extra things that you could do as well. There are like little peg people that you can decorate, and you can paint them and do more with it. It just depends on the day and if your kids are sick, which my kids were sick a lot last year, so they didn't open their advent calendars every morning. They kind of would do groups of advent days together. We still did some of our advent activities in the evenings, but not a lot of the time because there was like a 2-week block of time where everybody was just sick, and that was unfortunate, but they were healthy on Christmas, so that was good. Okay, so the next family advent calendar that I got, this is purely for me, it really is. There's gonna be a glare because of the plastic. So this is an advent puzzle calendar. So each day you open a little box with some puzzle pieces, and it puts together a section of this whole puzzle. And I am so excited about this because I love puzzles. Jack and I do a lot of puzzles in the winter, and Emma as well while we're watching movies. It's part of our Hygge homeschooling that we do in the winter months, and it's so much fun. And so I'm really excited about this one. Last year, we actually got a family games advent calendar, which I really wanted to get again, but they didn't update it, so it's the same games. But I will leave a link for that in the description box as well, because those games were so much fun. They were super easy. It was very small games. They had all of the pieces. There were little bowling games, dice games, strategy games, so much fun. So I really recommend that advent calendar if you're looking for something fun to do in the evenings that's not tech related, which during Advent we really try to reduce the amount of tech, especially because we're on our homeschool break. So it's very easy, especially for my big kids, to just be on screens a lot of the time. So I want to make sure that we have some options available. I love that Advent calendar, and I wish that we had kept things organized so that we would have those again this year to play, but we don't. So that's okay, but I will leave a link for that one in the description box as well. Now, this isn't the advent calendar. So this is our advent candle making kit. It comes with beeswax sheets that you then create the candles. It doesn't have a wreath. Obviously, this is just the beeswax sheets and the wicks in here, but that's what we buy each year for our advent candles. And then I do have a wreath that we put the candles in. I think that this actually makes more than 1 year's worth of candles, if I remember correctly, but I'm not entirely sure. So we do this as an activity leading into Advent. Usually right after Thanksgiving, we will decorate our Christmas tree and all of that stuff. You will see that when I go through Vlogmas, which I'm planning to do again this year, hopefully successfully. We shall see. The next advent calendar that I have is for Lucy, who is 9. She asked for a squishy advent calendar. We have done the mochi squishy calendar before, and she really liked it. This is a different one than what we have gotten in the past. And there's like a little scene here, and all of the different days, each day is a little different surprise. So this is what we have for Lucy. The plastic is really reflecting. This is the advent calendar that I got for Emma. This is from Body and Earth, this is from Body and Earth, and it is like shower gels and those types of things. She has gotten the Sephora calendar in the past. She's gotten a Body Shop calendar in the past. Once your kids get a little bit older, it's harder to find advent calendars that work for them, pre-made ones. I wanted to get her like a makeup one, but I wasn't able to find one that I really wanted. And the one, like the Sephora one, was essentially giving the same items as last year, and I didn't want it to be a repeat for her. But I saw this one and it looked really good, and it looked like the ingredients were a little bit better, hopefully. So I'm excited to see if she likes this. And then for Jack, I got this National Geographic Mega Science Advent Calendar with 24 experiments and specimens. I'm really excited about this. I think that he's going to like it. It's quite large. There's a lot here. So I'm hoping that this is a lot of fun for him to do and gives him a little activity, and also it is science related, which we've been a little bit light on this year. So I think that this will be a lot of fun. And usually Lucy will participate with Jack when he's doing these types of things. He's so patient with her to let her participate with him when he's doing any type of science experiments, which is lovely. So those are all of the advent calendars and advent resources that we are using this year. There is one, well, it's not all of them. There is one that I do not have in hand. It will be delivered soon, and that is my advent calendar, which is the In Good Taste wine advent calendar. I've been getting this for a few years now. It comes with a little wine bottle for each day of Advent. I love it. It is so much fun for me. and I think that they are still available, so I will leave a link for that in the description box if you're interested. It's just fun for me to have, and all of the wines are quite good, so I definitely enjoy it. I think I might actually have a discount code, so if I do, I will leave that in the description box for you, and if you're interested, you can check that out. And then for the chocolate piece of the advent calendar, if you think of a traditional advent calendar, you think of the little chocolates in those calendars. That's what we had growing up. I'm not a huge chocolate fan, but one thing that I do really love are Andes mints. And so when my kids were little, that is what we ended up giving to them as the little chocolate treat for the day, and we have continued that. So that is the other piece of our Advent tradition. And I share a little bit more about what we do during our big winter break from Thanksgiving to New Year's, of which Advent is a large part of, in my video about taking a long homeschool break. So I will leave that in the description box as well, so you can kind of hear the other things that we do during that month. But I wanted to share the Advent resources that we're using. I will leave links for everything in the description box if you're interested in any of these things. And if you have questions about any of them, please let me know in the comments, or you can email me. My contact form is always in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.